And a very pleasant good evening and welcome to the Bucks County Curling Club for the 2019 Big Buckin Bonspiel, the fourth edition of this event. Tonight on our featured sheet we had the Blue Barracudas of the Pittsburgh and Anthracite Curling Clubs. They are throwing the Blue Stones. They are skipped by Dustin Devine. The vice is Harley Werbacher. The second is Brendan Hoke. And the lead is Eric Tarkovsky. Their opponents, throwing the Red Stones, are the Blazing Handles of the Broomstones Curling Club. They're skipped by Ryan Hallisey. Their vice is Libby Brundage. Second, Ben Clark. And lead is Abby Stender. Also listed as
Laura's playing tonight.
Yeah, their alternate Laura Hallisey is playing. We'll see what position that she's filling. I'm Dave Schmelt, and I'm joined here in the booth with your friend and mine, Jeff Gelman. Good evening, Jeff.
Hey, good evening, Dave. And it looked like Laura did throw lead stones there.
Okay, there we go. Teams are allowed to have 5 rostered players. Those players had to be declared before the first draw. And feel free to chat with us on the YouTube chat. I'm sure people are tuning in by the 5s.
I'm giving them too much credit, Dave, by the 5s.
This is the final round of the second game of pool play in the Big Buckin Bonspiel 2019. So at this point, every team will have completed 2 games. It is 8 pools of 4 teams each. Then moving into a knockout round based on your seeding in your pools. And through the first end here, we have Hammerstone belonging to Blue from Pittsburgh. So they are facing a stone, and Dustin is asking Brendan to throw a takeout. Sweeper's coming down. They're going to get the 1. Will they get the double?
Yeah.
It does open it up, though, and take the stone out from being undercover, so a good result there.
Looks like the skip's calling for a draw behind. Get behind that high guard there.
That's our next investment, inline cough buttons. Right now I'm reaching over the mixer, but that's good for me. It doesn't do you much good.
It does not. That it does not. All right.
So it settles down, and it is now 2 for now for Broomstones. Brendan Hoke getting serious, taking off the warm-up jacket. And for Bucks members who are listening, all 4 of you, registration for our 5 and under friendly with the Long Island Curling Club is now open. So we're looking for 16 of our 5 and unders to participate in defending the Solo Cup. Prestigious event.
Thanks, Dave. And as of last report of about 15 minutes ago, we have 3 spots remaining out of the 16.
That filled up pretty darn quick.
Yes, it did.
It'll be a good time. 2 games. Lunch in between. I'm going to be firing up some cheesesteaks.
I was going to say, Dave, what might be that lunch?
Definitely firing up cheesesteaks. It's going to be fun. We're going to give our folks from Long Island a authentic Philadelphia experience. There will be no Cheese Whiz within a 10-mile radius.
We're going straight provolone there, Dave.
Yeah, we're going Provo or American. They can, I won't waiver there, but no whiz allowed.
So Broomstones is looking to see if they can get another one in there behind.
Still on its way. It's coming on down. It looked like it just picked.
Yeah, that died.
We saw this a little bit in the last game, and a lot of these folks who are curling with us, their clubs do not have ice right now, Jeff. And they're playing with last year's equipment.
So
at the end of the season, those grippers do break down, and the summer heat, a lot of folks leave their broom bags in their car or in their garage, not necessarily in a climate-controlled environment. And gripper rubber is engineered to be much softer right off the bat. So putting it through the extreme temperature changes makes it chunk up, and every September we end up with picks. The truck's right outside, guys. Buy a gripper.
Yeah. For those of you listening, if you're in the area, the trailer from Brooms Up Curling is here right now, and we'll be here all day tomorrow. Feel free to stop by, and like Dave said, buy a gripper, amongst the other things that Gary has to offer.
So Skip, Dustin Devine. This is Dustin's first Bonspiel as Skip. I've known him for a few years now. Nice gentleman.
I had a chance to catch up with Dustin yesterday when I was working the bar, and Dustin is very proud of the work that's going on right now in the Pittsburgh area with their new dedicated club being built. He was showing me some of the pictures from yesterday. It's looking awesome. Wish all the best to our friends out at the Pittsburgh Curling Club.
Oh, we are absolutely excited. A good number of us spent many years going to Tropic Curl, which is dutifully run by their president, Steve Buffington, his wife, Marie Rose, and a bevy of dedicated volunteers. But it is truly special news that the western part of our state will have dedicated ice this year, and, well, early next year, likely, but really, really freaking awesome. So we are very excited about that. And I heard, and if Marie's listening, I'm sure she can confirm, that they are going to have a lot of outlets.
Where'd they get that idea from, Dave?
I have no idea.
And I hear they're going to have some pretty nice rocks, too.
Yep, they're going to have some nice stones for sure. So Dustin is skipping and throwing the third stones, it appears. And here comes the fourth rock. And it wrecks on the guard, and it leaves themselves in an unfortunate situation. Oh, yeah, here are our friendlies. We're going to have Vinny and Rachel. Scott Grafe will be there. Ryan the Hook Daddy. Alan Finkelstein. And Ken Finkelstein. Tom Saraceni, the brother of our very own Michelle Shefford. We're going to have fun with this crowd.
Yes, we are.
I'm looking forward to it, and you better freaking win. I didn't put all that hard work into making that trophy. I wish we had like a booth cam right now. I could show you the Solo Cup. It's an homage to our good friend Matt Shiner from the Ardsley Curling Club, who competed with us in the first Solo Cup down here, where the Long Island Curling Club was victorious. To which Matt said, "Where's the damn trophy?" So I hastily assembled 4 Solo Cups with some gaffer's tape, and we had the first trophy.
But it has graduated beyond.
So you're not a basic white girl? There might be like 1 or 2.
Oh, the beauty of broom stacking. So here we go, final rock here for Pittsburgh. Harley's asking for a little bit more ice from Dustin, and I'd probably want even a skosh more than that, because you need to get around this guard, or else, well, okay, playing a hit and roll in.
I think that looks like it's going to hit the outside of the rock.
That's not going to be good. Oh, somebody's got to be sweeping that.
They got it past there, so
okay. So good on Brendan for being on top of that to prevent an open draw for 4, but it is a free draw for 3 for Ryan Hallisey. And Dustin has some family watching at home. Hello, Janelle. I hope you enjoy the game. If you're not familiar with curling, we'll try to describe it some for you. If you know everything, just write in the chat right now, "Shut up, Dave."
Well, the sweepers are on this pretty good here. See if they can actually drag that in and get that in for 3rd shot.
They're going it in. They have to be full white, and there it is. So there it is. So count them up.
1,
2, and 3 for Ryan Halsey in the blazing handles of Broomstone's Curling Club. Taking a look at some of the other action here.
to say, what time Super Value open until?
9 o'clock.
Okay.
There's no, like way the boundaries in the lager. But the lager is, as long as we're actually not worried about the lager, because I think we're right to the lower spirit. Yeah, you guys will. Yeah, see what the boundaries feels like. And the sun, the cider was just for the last one. Well, yeah, I only bought one. There's one with our name on it over there. Yeah, I mean, this will obviously get us into the car by car. Yeah, see what they feels like. Sorry for the timeout there. We had some important Bonspiel business there. We are running low on some particular malt beverages. Everybody is having a great time here at the Buckinspiel. The warm room is still packed to the gills.
Everybody's looking forward, Dave, to tomorrow night, our second annual Polish Food Festival.
Oh, it's going to be a great time. We have special beer coming in from Poland. We have Okocim beer. Very tough get. So before that happened, I was going to give you a sheet update here, so let me try to get that done right now. Over on sheet A, we have We Heart Button from the Detroit Curling Club, taking 4 in the first end, so they're up 4-0 over their opponents, the Zimdog Express from the Curling Club of Richmond, Virginia. Over on sheet C, it was a single point for Chad Stauffer from Schenectady, and he has a 1-0 lead over Simon Ole from from Hamilton, Ontario, who almost just tripped over the hack. And over on sheet D, taking 4 in the first end, is off constantly from Pittsburgh, and Sean Mazurski against our very own Uncle Touchy, Mark Blanton from the Denver Curling Club. So they're down 4-0 after 1. That's our look around the barn. Yeah, it swaps better for that. That kicks, just let it kick. Yeah. We're pretty late in the night. The kicks, let it kick. All right, so Pittsburgh Curling Club with the hammer here, with no stone to the house. They're facing a fighter from their opponent in the top 12 foot, along with the guard, Dustin Devine, looking to draw undercover here. Normally, you would draw underneath your own color rocks, but due to the way that those stones are offset, they serve as an effective guard for whoever can get there first. This one appears to be a little bit tight in line, and they are sweeping it very hard to try to hold it. Unfortunately, it does look like it's going to catch the top stone and promote their opponent's stones a little bit further into the rings, but it does open it up. So, it's not ideal, but it's not so bad.
Brandon with his second shot.
And Jeff, a score update from Flushing, Queens. The New York Mets hold a 1-0 lead over the Phillies.
I have pretty much given up on the Phillies at this point.
Oh, they burned that rock. Well, unfortunate occurrence for Broomstones. Let's see how Dustin decides to respond. He's going to ask Brendan to draw under. Alternatively, you could play a salt weight hit and roll on the stone in the house, but I don't mind this one little bit. Again, a little bit tight on the broom. And this is going to raise their opponent's stone into the house, and now they're going to be facing 1 and 2 enemy rocks. Jeff, I think just I think some of this is just that RA swings a little bit more than what they generally play on,
Right.
and that's a bit of an adjustment everybody has to make.
Well, but you figured for everybody, this is their second game. Certainly things change from sheet to sheet, game to game, but getting a feel for that swing is something they probably should have worked out after that first game, at least a little bit.
Well, their first game was against a good team from Detroit that's currently playing on sheet A.
Okay.
Who's sitting up 4-1 right 4-0 at the moment.
I must say, Dave, just looking over the team list, we have a real nice variety of clubs represented here from various parts of the North American continent.
And this is the first time ever at the Bucks County Curling Club that we have not had a rostered team from the Philadelphia Curling Club.
Yes, I looked at that earlier and I was really surprised to see that.
And one thing that means we've had to serve a lot more food because a lot more people, nobody stays at home.
Right.
We usually order 20 pizzas. We had to use 30 on Thursday. We have 3 playing field, which is, well, actually no, 4 playing fields, so that's about average. But 0 Philadelphia curling clubs.
Last call for dinner.
And there you go. You heard the Colonel himself.
I say.
It's the last call for dinner, said Matt Pring. And a fine dinner it was. It looked like everybody enjoyed themselves.
They did. A little grilling action going on today.
Yeah, Daniel Lawfer enjoying dessert, as he always does. Growing young boy. Quickly becoming a man.
Right before our very eyes.
Yeah, when he came to the club when we were laying the ice in, and he spoke, and I'm like, "Hi, Daniel." He's like, "Hello, Dave." What the hell happened?
That happens, man. That happens.
Tight game on sheet 3. This pool, I anticipate in this pool this was going to be the most competitive game in Pool G. Chad Stauffer from Schenectady versus Simon Olay from the unfortunately and very sadly now defunct Glenside Curling Club.
Really? These guys were here last year, weren't they?
Yes. Their club closed.
Huh.
And Simon was a big part in the board and really did put a lot of time in there. So it's really heartbreaking for him. Glendale Curling Club. I apologize. But this is the last time that he can actually go out and say he's representing the Glendale Curling Club. So, yeah, that's the thing. That's becoming a far too common occurrence in Canada, the closing of curling clubs.
Huh. Well, as they're closing up there, we are certainly seeing an increase of popularity in the States. And curling clubs are growing, membership is growing, and I think a lot of that has to do with the success of the U.S. men's team and their gold medal in the Olympics last year.
Oh, absolutely. The success that was brought by John Schuster's team was definitely very exciting. We watched it live here at the club.
We did.
So Dustin coming out with a bit of weight here. And it looks like it's going to over-curl a touch, so let's see what happens.
Well, it still has a chance to potentially get a promotion on that. Not enough.
It jiggles some stuff around, but they're still facing 2 stones for broomstones. I'm going to have to say rock if it's broomstones, because stone and that's going to not sound good after a while.
So I did notice, Dave, in between the last draw and this particular draw, that the ice crew is not just working on the ice. It seems like there was a bit of tightening of the handles on the stones. So what would cause those to kind of get a little loose?
Okay, well, so when you put the stones away for the winter, away for the summer, you've had the intention to the use that they are on the ice. Now, the stone is 42 pounds of granite, and just like a bridge has expansion joints, the stones expand and contract based on the temperature. So, knowing that we were taking out the ice over the summer, you loosen the handles on all the stones. Now, before we put them out on the ice, we tightened them. And then they got cold, and now we had to tighten them and tighten them again. It's a slow process to get them to exactly where they want to be. We've only played a few games on the rocks and on the ice since it's been installed, but so it's a kind of a natural thing, and the ice crews go to, you can generally use a wrench, but a good iceman can just if it's close, you can kind of tweak it just by holding the rock and turning the handle.
Yep, those guys did a great job. Not only turning the ice over with the nip, the pebble, getting those handles tightened up, and we got started on time. Here's Ryan with his first skip stone.
I even went out there.
See if he can, not quite get through that, but does a nice job of covering up any port of entry.
And even though you yelled at me, I went out there and got my shoes cold. I can still push them up.
So this, tell me a little bit about this Polish beer. Is it a what kind of beer would it be? Is it a lager? Is it a bitter? Is it, we're doing a little internet looking up right now.
You're not supposed to say that.
See, but the thing is, Dave, if you had that off the top of your head, you would have answered right away. There we go.
Okay, I'm staring right at you. I have not looked at the computer yet. Okocim is a Polish beer. It's in a lager style, but it tends to be a little bit of an ale-y lager.
Okay, there you go.
So here we go. It's 6.2 ABV. Okocim beer is more than just OK beer. It's a light to medium body beer that carries quite a bit of alcohol, and though its aroma of floral Polish hops nicely masks this effect.
Is that something that
look for a balanced flavor of lightly sweet malts with a spicy hop bite, and as it warms, a slight kick from the alcohol content and the increasing spiciness. This beer finishes with a superbly dry crispness that is stern and unique among many of the European lagers. It's a great beer to drink with traditional Polish cuisine, such as a plate full of hot potato pierogies, kielbasa, and gołąbki.
Coincidentally, we will have all three on our menu tomorrow. Or not so coincidentally. Now, is it something that you got from our normal purveyor of...
That's Super Value Beverages over on Mearns Road.
All right.
Part of the Bound Beverages family. They give us a little bit of a discount, so they get a slight plug. It's one of the three most popular beers in Poland. Along then, the most popular beer is Żywiec, which is another ale lager with more malt notes. It's actually one of my favorites. And Tishki, which I find quite unremarkable. But there's unremarkable beers that are very well selling here in the United States as well.
Oh, what a shot. Really, really nice shot there by Ryan.
And it's cowbell worthy.
There's our young Daniel Offer has just helped himself to a second round of desserts. Growing boy. But doing the right thing and also feeding his father, which is good.
We know that Daniel always enjoys his dessert. Not saying that quite loud enough for his father to hear.
But it did see that when the law for men, and I say men now because Daniel has become a man, just as they walked in, they were carrying a big pot. What would be in that big pot that they brought?
Oh, that's going to be Polish stew, bigos. That's a Polish hunter stew, which is rich and delicious, and this stone is coming down from Harley. It is a little bit wide, and it's going to miss
just go by
everything, so they will be giving up a steal of 3, leaving the score after 2 ends 6-0 in favor of Broomstones.
Yeah, tight when they were on sheet C between Glendale and Schenectady.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a good one. I played against Chad once in the Francis Dykes Bonspiel, and we had a very tight competitive game. His style tends to be more of a hit game, which is also the style favored by Simon. So it's going to be interesting how they foil each other. They've exchanged single points right now, both getting forces. I would assume at some point we're going to see some blank ends come up over there. In the future, we will have streaming capability on multiple sheets. And if you want to help us do that, that's 1185 York Road, Rink 2, Warminster, PA, 18974. Send your money now.
One thing I am impressed with Simon over there on sheet C, you guys can't see it at home, but his throwback Gary Carter Montreal Expos jersey he's sporting tonight.
The Expo de Montreal.
And does he go by Simon or is he Simon?
He's Simon.
Okay. I don't know if he's French-Canadian.
No, he's just Simon. I mean, he is French-Canadian by etymology, but he goes by Simon.
All righty.
And his wife, Betty Kallick, serves as his vice, with her daughter, Danielle Braden. They have been in the A event final multiple times at this Bonspiel. Haven't quite come home with that hardware yet. Fell to both Kevin Stayer and Paul Gibson. Paul Gibson when he made a fantastic improbable run at this Bonspiel.
I had the pleasure of playing with Paul Gibson at last year's Big Buck, and then we brought home the C event win.
Yeah, Paul does know how to bring it when it comes to game day. So here we are at the third end. Both stones being played in right now by Broomstones. It's a good strategy to play when you have a lead to put your rocks in the house. Dustin is doing the appropriate strategy and ignoring these rocks because he needs to set up his own cover to build an end of his own.
Well, Dave, it looks like somebody sitting in front of you did listen and went out and bought a gripper.
Well, that's fantastic because Ed Schemia knows the importance of clean ice, and Ed will always have a clean gripper. It's very important to have a clean gripper. Safety first, absolutely. You need to make sure that your shoe is properly protected. And what's that broom head? Let me see that broom head. What the heck is that?
That's what Balance Plus is going to use for.
Okay, so
is that their new competition head?
The sleeve will go over.
Okay. Okay, so the sleeve. This is the base, and they'll put the yellow fabric on top of it. Okay, so Balance Plus is an interesting answer to the hardline broom to make a low-cost alternative.
I remember Gary from Brooms Up talking to me about this earlier this year and saying that they're only going to be doing that right now for their competition broom heads, but eventually for the club play they will be coming out with a similar version.
Well, they just brought the heat there and peeled away those guards, so now Dustin has one corner guard left. He's going to ask Brendan to draw underneath of it. It's a really exciting time for the Pittsburgh Curling Club. Their club is going up. Taking some looks at pictures from just a couple days ago on September 3rd. The outside structure, steel is going up. The foundation has been laid. The foundation walls were completed on the 23rd of August. I can't tell you how excited I am for those folks. We went through a journey from arena ice to dedicated ice, but we kind of got to take a shortcut because we took over the building. They're doing it the old-fashioned way.
From the ground up.
From the ground up, just like Triangle has before them, and the Charlotte Curling Center.
It's really great for the GNCC and curling in the East and in general that you're seeing these clubs pop up, and the popularity, particularly in the South. I know this year the GNCC, all of the GNCC sponsored 5 and unders, that would be the Francis Dykes, the Elizabeth Childs, and the Kaiser, are all in the South this year. 2 of them in North Carolina, 1 of them in Georgia.
And that's awesome. Which begs the question to whether maybe the GNCC needs to make some geographical considerations as to whether they should split at some point to make it a little bit easier for folks to travel to Bonspiels. But yeah, we're not touching that.
I was going to say that discussion's above my pay grade.
I think I kind of just gave my opinion. Oh, wow. Over on sheet 4, sheet D, Uncle Touchy and the Untouchables
coming
have
back with 4.
fired back with a score of 4 to tie the score against their opponents, off constantly from Pittsburgh.
So while we mentioned the GNCC 5 and unders events that are all going to be in the South, Dave, what about that GNCC senior mixed? Where's that going to be held next year?
Well, it's funny. That's going to be held right here on the friendly confines of the Bucks County Curling Club. Registration is open right now at buckscountycurlingclub.org or curlbucks.org. I believe you have to be 50 to play in that.
That's correct.
Well, I'm sure, Jeff, you're many years away from that.
Oh, yeah. Not quite, Dave. I will be playing in that. So.
Fair enough. And oddly enough, as mentioned on Sheet C, and then as we alluded to, there's a blank end of the third end. And, a flashed hit. And right now over there, Chad Stauffer is sitting one. He's looking to draw a second one under cover. And this could be a possible multiple score over there. We'll keep you updated. Over on sheet one, we have a steal of one for the Detroit Curling Club, making it a 5-0 advantage after two ends.
And right here on sheet B, Ryan he's just keeping the pedal to the metal. He's just really forcing the issue here.
Not making it easy for the new skip.
Hit it again. Keep hitting it until we get to the target.
So Dustin's making his way down the ice. He is skipping and throwing the third rocks. This is something that is growing more and more common in curling to have somebody play a different position and skip. Oftentimes you're looking for the best drawer to be throwing forth. So this rocks away. Looks just as skosh wide.
Don't think that's going to get over there.
And it's going to be just a little bit outside.
So in speaking with Dustin yesterday while I was at the bar, he anticipates that the Tropical Curl will be making a return, probably a little bit later than what they've been doing as far as Tropical, but they are anticipating a summer spiel, which would welcome people to come to the Pittsburgh Curling Club next summer.
Well, that'll be fantastic because I'm owed a 5-year patch. Go Teresa and Paul. Where are Teresa and Paul playing?
So these folks from Glendale on sheet C, is there any closer club to where they are that they'd be able to join?
Oh yeah, I did speak with Simon about this earlier in the day today, and they are going to look to join another one of the clubs in the area. I mean, that is the difference between Canada and the States. I mean, here at the Bucks County Curling Club, our nearest neighbor is a Philadelphia Curling Club, which is a good 45 minutes away, and their nearest neighbor is just down the road. So
yeah,
it literally. I made a visit to the North Hill Curling Club in Calgary, Alberta, and their neighboring club is the Curling Club of Calgary, which is literally down across the park and down the hill. You can walk there in about 6 or 7 minutes.
All right.
So this
with the second round, a little bit more on Broom here.
Yeah, this takeout looks like it's got a lot more of a chance to make something good happen. And
got one of them.
It does open it up, and the shooter is going to roll to be third shot.
But at the moment, you've got a clean look at the shot rock. But if you're Broomstones, you're probably going to want to plug that up and take away any kind of look that you have at that rock.
Score 2 for Pittsburgh in the third end, so it's now 6-4 in their favor over the Denver Curling Club. And getting on the board is the Zimdog Express from the Curling Club of Richmond, Virginia. So they are at a 5-1 disadvantage at this point, curling in the fourth end. So here we have Broomstone and Ryan Halsey sitting 2. And trying to make a defense there.
That's a pretty good shot there. Probably a little bit more closer to the center line than what Ryan was hoping to get.
But I can't do that with ball runners.
There we go. Finally found somebody to focus.
We love going to the Reading Terminal Market because there's
So the house is still infested with those pesky red rocks. So Harley's going to fire away here and see what she can do. Coming out there, that looks like to be about a 9.5 second shot. It's going to remove one and sit there to be third shot.
Yeah.
When I say 9.5 seconds, I'm referring to the time between the hog lines. It's a very consistent way to measure the time that a stone is thrown because it takes away any added input that might be put into by the thrower.
So Dave, talk to me, like as you're a skip, and I've seen many skips time that, from hog to hog.
Right.
But as a skip, you're trying to get some kind of feedback from your sweepers well before that, before you get that second measurement that it reaches the near hog line. So is that just something that you're just trying to take that input from your sweepers as well as make any kind of quick judgment calls after you get that second reading?
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to want to look to try to have a feel for it. Obviously, they have the best feel for it completely. It's very tough as a skip to take a time from the tee line to the hog line. So really all you can do as a skip reliably is a hog-to-hog timeline.
All right, so Ryan's looking to eliminate this red rock that's in the third shot right now. So he hits, then it's a nice roll over there.
So we're bringing in from the front row here, Ed Scamia from the Nutmeg Curling Club, and Ed, we're discussing as a skip, what are you looking for in terms of feedback for your sweepers? They might give you a time, but if you're timing for yourself, what are you really timing? Are you looking for a short time from the tee line, or are you taking a hog-to-hog time?
So I do take hog-to-hog times on basically if I can find time to do it every rock during an end, and I think through practice you can get pretty good at translating that into a feel thing. You can feel what it is to throw a 15-second draw, 14.5-second draw, whatever. The short split times are still useful though. It doesn't, even if you aren't 100% sure if that's not something you use, just even knowing that it's gone up or down by a couple tenths of a second can give you a lot of added information. Just knowing that the ice is either faster or slower than you expect on a particular line. If my sweepers can tell me that if they've been getting a 3.8 on a particular line all game, and then we switch to a line that hasn't been thrown, and now I have to throw a 3.6 because it's the first ice.
Sure.
Even if I haven't been using the split times, that just gives me the information that I need to throw that much more weight. So it's a combination, and I think every skip really uses a different combination of those hog to hogs and short splits. A lot of it comes down to just what your comfort is with those different times.
Absolutely, and thanks for that. A little bit of a better added insight for that, because I'm definitely more of a field guy than a stopwatch guy myself.
And I use the stopwatch, but I think you have to get that feel. At a certain point, it is a little bit of feel to add or subtract weight.
And you make a good point as to knowing what side is being played or not being played. I think that sometimes it takes a long time for a front end to really get good at mapping where every rock has went.
Oh, absolutely, and that's probably an underrated skill, especially at the club level. Just like if you can remember that just because you've seen a particular time, it's not the same on every line.
Right.
Gives your skip or anyone on the team a lot more information to use.
That's why I'm always a big fan of having one person on the front end sweeping intuitively, and one person on a clock.
Oh yeah, I think you want no more than one person on time. I mean, for brand new curlers, I actually don't like them using the clock. It's better just to learn how to use it.
Right.
But even when you get to a more competitive level, if you watch, they're not having both sweepers time, because you need someone just watching what's happening, watching the release. Are you pulling back, pushing, adding, subtracting, whatever, And
yeah, myself personally, I enjoy. This is one thing I try to ram into our newer curlers, because oftentimes when we teach a learn to curl, we allow the students to stand at the hog line and wait for the rock.
Oh, sure.
We're not so good always at translating that to our players when they play, because when I go to play and if I'm sweeping a rock, I am all the way back in the hack with the person delivering the stone, as if I'm throwing it myself.
Oh yeah.
And
you come out with them.
I come out with them, whatever rhythm they have. If they rock back, I lean back.
Oh, interesting.
And I come out with them, and I feel that gives me a really good feel of if they've changed something in their delivery. If they gave it a little extra add, if they pulled it back a little bit, because I start to really learn how to feel how they deliver a stone.
Sure, no, that makes a lot of sense. I think you don't want to start, especially as you become a little more comfortable and you're playing at a little more competitive level, you don't really want to start any further up than like the T-line or so, and that's really where, and yeah, that makes a lot of sense what you're doing. I haven't seen many people do that, but there's definitely logic to that, and you're sort of getting in the rhythm of the person throwing the rock. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I try to impart that in some people, and I see people standing on the tee line, and I say, well, you just wasted 30 feet.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's anything that gives you a better sense of what's going on, more information is helpful. And that thing that the stopwatch is just one piece of information. That's all it is.
Well, our friend Matt Pring says you first learn the skill, then apply the tool.
Yes, I agree with that, though. That's absolutely correct. That's one, and then also, like, you look at the watch, you see the time, and then you forget the time.
Right.
You now use it once, and then everything else is just what are you seeing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, well, this time came with this. Why am I running?
Right. I think a common mistake when you get like past that beginner level and you're using the watch and you're doing it is like, well, I timed it at at this. And now I'm halfway down the ice and it looks nothing like it, but I timed it at that number, so it has to be that. And no, it's not. Trust your instincts. Trust your intuition and what you see. Yeah.
And front end, as soon as you think it's light, sweep.
Yes. Yeah.
How many times have you seen a front end? You call for a T-line draw, and they're walking down the ice. 1, 2.
Yeah.
Oh, sweep!
Well, I think even especially on a last shot of the end where it just has to be within a certain area. Like even if you're calling or even if you just call a top 4 draw, you're calling a 4. Then I have confidence in your ability to call the weight. You say it's a 4, you should be sweeping until you decide differently. It's okay to be wrong. But if you think it's late, then you trust yourself and sweep. Yeah.
If I have open draw, I always make it a point to my front end to remind them that the back of the house is going to count the same as the front of the house.
Exactly. Use the margin of error. If you think you're light at all, then you sweep. If you think you're heavy at all, you don't sweep.
Absolutely. So that ended up being a steal 1 for Broomstones there, making it 7-0. And I thank Ed for chiming in here and providing us some knowledge.
Oh, always a pleasure.
Absolutely. So when's your next draw?
We play the 8 a.m. draw in the morning. So.
Oh, there you go. God bless you. Usually I would say that, you could have done something to avoid this, but not in my Bonspiel.
Not when there's pool play. You're, not no way out.
But at least you know it's coming.
Yeah, we're ready to go. So
Ed, I wish you guys the best of luck. How are you guys doing so far?
We're 2-0 so far. We've done well so far. So yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. And who are you going up against tomorrow morning?
I believe we're going up at Ocean State team. Some of my people I'm playing with this weekend are from Broomstones and know them. So and I didn't know them myself. We've already met them. And, so we're looking forward to playing them.
All right, fantastic. Well, best of luck moving forward, and thank you for joining us.
All right, thanks a lot, Dave.
All right, bye-bye. Ed Schemia from Nutmeg.
Silent C.
Silent C. Semia. Semia.
There you go.
I've been saying that wrong for like a really long time. Ed Semia from the Nutmeg. Beware the nut.
And Dave, just to give you an update, Daniel Laufer has just gotten his 3rd round of dessert.
Dan Laufer is up to his 3rd dessert.
Hey, we got a tip of the, or wave of the cap there from his father.
Oh, man.
So we ended up with Connecticut State trivia for an hour.
Oh, God, we're not doing that. We're not doing that today. That was last month's meeting.
Where the first play happened.
Oh, that's the same draw where I went, where we went on the, where I went on the continuous side.
What's been your favorite so far? All right.
I pulled up my, God damn it.
Broomstone's still putting on the pressure here, sitting 3 in the house at the moment. Looking to put another one here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's they're keeping the pressure on, and rightly so. It's what you should do. Over on sheet C, it is a single point for Chad Stauffer, and that game remains incredibly tight. 2-1 after 4 ends. There's multiple stones in the rings right now, so there won't be a blank end. And we have Simon calling for a peel on the centerline guard. So this game is being played very close to the vest. And Danielle,
very nice.
She runs it back, but she leaves the guard. So that's a half shot there. Back to our featured game. It's the first rock for Dustin, throwing the 3rd stones. Looking to remove some granite here. And this looks like it's going to do so. Got to be on the brush right now. Got to be on the brush. Got to sweep. You got to sweep. All the way down, and we're going to pick off just the one. And the one, and the one in the back. That one incorrectly moved out of play, but we won't worry about that too much. Joining next to us here in the broadcast, Daniel's thinking about what his next dessert's going to be.
There's a lot more to choose from.
We're probably going to have ice cream tomorrow, Daniel. So, calling for the takeout, and they brought the weight, and that's going to slide outside. So,
just a bit outside.
Possible opportunity here for Pittsburgh.
Oh, interesting move with a little back scratching on sheet C, using your broom to scratch your back. I don't think I have seen that before.
It was outside.
Just outside the hog line.
Oh, okay.
I am not certain who that is, but yes, he did have that broom going in a back scratching motion.
There you go.
All right, so Dustin with his second shot here. Calling for the takeout of the shot rock.
Eric and Harley, the best couple at the Spiel. From the Blue Barracudas of the Pittsburgh Curling Club. Calling a takeout on the rock in the center, and this looks pretty good. It's coming down with a down weight, a hackish weight.
Okay, sweepers got on that pretty quickly, probably for weight.
They're on hard for both weight and line. Coming over the hog line. Coming on down, it's going to actually...
Well, it's good for second shot.
That's good for a second shot. It kind of moves it over a little bit. So
yep.
This, I'd say, to use some one of our members' favorite words, the plot just moistened. She's not here.
No.
Actually, yeah, nope, yep, she is.
Yeah, she is, because she is closing tonight.
So, Ryan and Libby are taking a look at this here, and they're looking at it quite justly for a bit, because slightly fraught with peril here, because if you go to make the hit and miss it on the right side as you're looking at it on the broadcast, you're going to end up jamming it in, and that will leave Dustin the open hit to lay three off the other side. So while you do have a 7-0 lead right now, you don't want to play stupid right now.
No.
So they are going with a hit. Whoa, doggy! Another big score on sheet A. Detroit now with a 9-1 lead over the curling club of Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, Ryan bringing the heat on this one.
Yeah, Ryan throwing peel weight. And picks it out. The shooter's going to go away and just about leave the house. Still leaves some options here for Pittsburgh. There is a double available. You have to take about a third of the stone, and you can throw it. But that's a tough shot for pretty much anyone. So Harley's your daughter, and Cecil and Eric's your future son-in-law.
All right.
You don't necessarily have to agree, Cecil. You still have time to call somebody. But Eric's a good guy, so you would never want to do that.
No, you don't want to do that.
No. Here we are coming down, throwing draw-ish weight to corner freeze.
Yeah, see if you can just sit on that.
Now, this is a good call. You don't want the next stone to move. Don't sweep it. Okay. So I'd imagine Ryan's just going to come down, just trying to eliminate that stone. Yeah, you do that. You're not going to leave a multiple score. The most you're going to give up is 1, and you never have a problem with that. And we are on the seesaw over on sheet D. The third end.
That's a barn burner over there.
Yeah, the third end was a score 2 for Pittsburgh to make it 6-4. The fourth end was a take back of 2 for Uncle Touchy from Denver. So after 4 ends, there's no defense there. It's 6-6. And at the U.S. Open in Queens, it's Rafael Nadal leading by a set on serve in the second set in the semifinal.
And now we have one of our TVs here giving us the broadcast live from Flushing Meadows, New York.
Both of these events are in Flushing.
That's true. That is true. That's right. U.S. Open just down the street from Citi Field.
The Billie Jean King National Tennis Center.
Isn't it Arthur Ashe?
That's the stadium.
Ah, the stadium. Okay, gotcha.
The whole center is the Billie Jean King Center.
Okay.
You have the Arthur Ashe Stadium and the Louis Armstrong Stadium. 2-2, Phillies Mets. Those stinking Mets. Thank you, Phil. We appreciate it. So here we are. Final stone, fourth end. Harley Rohrbacher looking to put her team on the board. Coming down with the out-turn hit. Needs an out-turn hit and stick. It's going to be off the 1/4. Needs to jam and stick. And it does, and we have a score of 1.
There we go. Pittsburgh on the board. Nice job.
And they're on the board.
High fives all around for Team Pittsburgh.
They're quite happy about that after 4 ends of score. Brimstone 7, Pittsburgh 1.
That would be the combination team of Pittsburgh and Anthracite.
That's right. The Blue Barracudas. Speaking of Anthracite, we'll be holding a friendly with them.
When will that be, Dave? Sometime in the fall,
I believe
right?
it's going to be in November. I believe November 21st is the date.
And that's an open? That's
Yep, that's open. That's open to all members of Anthracite and all members of Bucks. We'll be selling those tickets for Bucks members shortly. Haven't quite opened that one out yet.
And Dave, anybody else for the 5 and under, or is that still based on?
No, we're still open there.
All right, so 3 spots still remaining for that.
Yeah, we got Megan Turner, Steve Turner, Jimmy Fannin.
And that would be the Gelmans there.
And it's the Gelmans. First stone goes up as a guard, as it needs to be. In order to steal points, you have to have guards in play. Impossible to steal without guards. Ooh, takeout sails through, and she'd see. A little bit of a crack here for Simon to put the pressure back on. He's likely going to set up a force or blank end.
So we don't know what happened in the 5th end on sheet C.
Let's see here. We can count rocks and figure it out. 4 blue rocks. 4 blue rocks, 3 red rocks. That would tell me that red scored.
All right.
We'll find out the score as soon as it comes up, but Chad Suffer lining up to double / double the stones that are in the house right now. So very soon we will have streaming capability on multiple sheets, and I'd love to be able to cut into the game on C because it's fun to watch, even though this takeout's going to completely flash. Greg Wolf, league signups. League signups are indeed on the docket. And league signups are going to be happening very soon as I turn my head around the warm room and look for our sign-up czar. League signups are probably in about a week and a half. There are still spots available in our September pickup games. Members, you can sign up at curlbucks.org. $20 a night. Get that rust knocked off. The ice is as pretty as it's ever going to be. Buy a new gripper and keep it pretty. You know, there's quite a few participants in this Bonspiel who have a very friendly relationship with the hog line.
Huh. Getting very close there, huh?
They need to leave a little bit of room for the Holy Spirit. That's what I was told in high school.
Well, it is the honor system that we play with.
Yeah, but absolutely, we do operate completely under the spirit of curling. There are no officials in curling in the vast majority of events. I know watching Greg's an official, I'm an official, but officials in curling do their very best to not intervene. It's actually the ethos to which you are taught.
So Ryan's looking to put another one in there.
Yeah, just keeping on piling them on, and piling them on. Oh, it just nicks the guard. And someplace Wayne Anderson died a little bit.
I think all of our best out to Wayne and his family, and a big weekend for the Andersons. As one of their daughters, I believe, will be getting married this weekend.
Really, who?
Emily.
Oh, Emily.
Yes.
Emily's marrying Chaz.
Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That will be this weekend.
Oh, congratulations then. That's fantastic. They're a great couple. Now, best wishes from us here at the Bucks County Curling Club to Emily Anderson and Charles. I know your name is Charles. I don't know your last name. I'm sorry.
That's when we lost.
That's the day when they didn't have the key, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I wish we had a booth cam that I could show you right now. We're looking through some old Bucks County Curling Club archives here from before we had everything we have now, and definitely bringing back some memories. Thanks to our president, Kevin Stayer. Yes, Daniel, I'm aware that you're sitting next to us. Thank you. Oh, man. That picture, Jeff, comes from a night where it was a Tuesday night league, And myself, Ian, and Kevin Stayer, after preparing the ice, decide to take our evening meal over to Giuseppe's. And it came to be close to 7:30 and close to draw time, and we were making our way over. And the folks who were gathered for curling sent a picture saying, hey, a whole bunch of people waiting to curl. To which we replied, keys for sale, $300 each.
There you go. Did anybody take them up on the offer?
Actually, yes, indeed.
Okay, good.
And on sheet C, it was a score of 1. So in the sixth end of play, it is tied 2-2 between Chad Stouffer and Simon Olay.
But the way Simon's a little heavy on this shot here, but he's sitting 2 at the moment.
Chad has hammer. The best he's going to do is score 1, it looks like.
Yep.
This is the final stone. I almost think Simon threw that away.
So over on sheet D, how long ago did that Mark Blanton leave the Bucks County Curling Club and go out to Colorado?
Well, Uncle Touchy, Mark Blanton, he left about 3 years ago.
Yeah, probably right before I joined.
Yep, he did find a home at the Denver Curling Club, and we're happy for him.
I know that they did a spiel out there, and a good number of Bucks teams went out this year out to Colorado.
Absolutely. Aptly named for Colorado, the Mile High Bonspiel.
Really?
Oh, great brush and a score of 1 for Chad Stouffer. And after 6 ends on sheet C in what is proving to be the most entertaining game of our Bonspiels thus far, it is 3-2 after 6 ends. I can't wait to see what happens coming home there. Yeah, putting together the pools, you seed everything and you try to figure out where teams are going to land, and you try to spread it out and make it as competitive as possible.
Yep.
And I definitely had that matchup on sheet C, this draw, marked on my calendar as one which was going to be definitive.
Yes. Just looking across the various sheets and the time left on the clock, it does look like that everybody will be able to finish out the sixth end in time and be able to get the full 8 in.
Yeah, well, they just began the 7th on C.
Right.
On our feature game, they're only playing the 5th. So I don't know about that.
Yeah, but some chances are here that this may not go anyway to the 8th. We'll see what happens in this end.
It's another steal 1 for Team Brett Jackson from the Detroit Curling Club. So now they hold a commanding 10-1 lead over the Curling Club of Richmond, Virginia, and Dave Zimmerman. Zimdog. A single point in the 5th end for Pittsburgh. They hold a 1-point advantage over Uncle Touchy from Denver. We have one more draw tonight, which will be draw number 9 out of 19 total. Lots of draws in this Bonspiel as we operate under a pool play format. which does mean that we require both an 8 a.m. and 10:15 p.m. draw, which is lots of fun for everyone.
Especially you, Dave, who's running this field, so you're pretty much here the whole time.
I said someone should. It's okay, partner. I'm lining up my replacement.
There you go. Starting me off with a friendly, and let's see how I do.
That's how it starts.
Well, it's good. You got some new blood. As mentioned earlier, we are hosting the GNC Senior Mixed, and we have a couple of the brother and sister, the fandom brother and sister, who I came up with just about 3 years ago, and they are going to be running that spiel.
Well, volunteerism is a huge part of most every curling club in the United States, especially in the GNCC. Not many curling clubs in the GNCC, which is for those of you who might not know, is the Grand National Curling Club, which is the governing body that covers the east coast of the United States, all the way from Maine down to Florida, which is a massive amount of geographic territory.
And how far west does it go? Does it go into Ohio?
The furthest west the GNCC goes is actually the Pittsburgh Curling Club.
Okay.
Then you go into a different organization next to that. But the vast majority of these clubs are fully volunteer. Only a couple have paid ice guys or administrators or people who work in those type of roles. I know that the TCC and the Country Club in Brookline, Massachusetts has a ice guy. I know Broomstones receives some ice help.
And we have in our presence this weekend Carl Biltz from the Triangle Curling Club, who was a part of the ice crew down there at the Curling Night in America that was just recently recorded down in the Raleigh area. Look for that to come to NBC Sports Network in January.
Yeah, Carl was a part of the Curling Night in America.
Yeah, he's sporting his Curling Night in America t-shirt there. He's getting on the mic now. We're just talking a little bit about the GNCC and a lot of people doing ice there. And just mentioned that you had the fortunate opportunity to work with the ice crew down there at Curling Night in America. Tell us a little bit about that and what that experience was like.
Well, it was definitely a huge learning experience. We had 4 good guys that were coming in from North Dakota to do the ice, and they really put on a show. And the amazing thing is they made championship ice in 5 days in Raleigh in the middle of August. So that takes some talent right there.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know it took our crew a solid 7 to 10 days to put in the ice here. It took us a total of 19 floods before we painted, and then another 5 on top of that to get to where we want to be.
Well, luckily we used the hockey ice down there as a base. We went through and painted it all. Now, I will say they were not happy with the fact that they couldn't get everything to freeze quickly, but we were able to get everything working, and I will say it is probably the fastest ice I've ever touched a rock on when it comes down to it. So, I mean, man.
Well, Carl, I'm gonna try to match that tomorrow for you.
We'll see what we can do. I'm excited. I will definitely tell you, it's like I got to throw a rock out there, and we what I would normally call a one guard or a hog, made it the whole way to the tee line and moved almost 12 feet. So
yeah. Well, I had to mess with the stones for that to happen, but still trying to feel out our new chiller to see exactly how to dial it in really perfect to really get it hot.
Yep. Well, it is moving pretty quick out here this weekend, though. I have enjoyed the speed and the swing on the sheets that I've played. So it's been really a comfort after playing all these arena spiels this summer. So
and we do have new stones coming. We have them, but we would not have had enough time to break them in for a Mon spiel, so we didn't feel like it was appropriate to play them.
I understand. Well, and plus you want your guys to try them out first. That's always the way it goes with
Yeah.
new stones.
Well, sure.
You know, I don't blame you. We got our new stones came in a couple months ago, and we're excited to get out there and get to using them. So it's going to be a fun season at least when those new rocks all get to be played.
So what was the most interesting thing that happened at Curling Night in America for you?
I would have to say the chance to meet all the Olympic athletes, especially the Americans, plus the Scottish teams were really fun. Yeah, I mean, sitting down and having a beer with the Scots was definitely an entertaining experience after their games. So we did have the chance to meet a lot of the teams from Japan and as well as Italy out there, and some of the games were really fantastic to see because you realize that they have days like us too. So, you know, some days when they're a little off, they can be a little off as well.
And didn't you have the opportunity to walk the Japanese team onto the ice?
I did. I walked the Japanese mixed doubles team out on their ice for their game. They are two very hospitable, very humble people that you get the chance to meet. And I will say every athlete out there took the time to say hello and thank you to everybody that did some work when they had the chance.
That's awesome.
And as we've had this interview with Carl, we had a score of 6.
Yeah.
Woo.
Ryan puts up 6 there.
And the conclusion of the game. So congratulations to Blazing Handles from Broomstone's Curling Club. Ryan Halsey, Libby Brundage, Ben Clark, Abby Stender, but playing today the alternate Laura Halsey. And they defeated in their pool Dustin Devine, Harley Rohrabacher, Brendan Hope, and Eric Travasky. So those folks will play again tomorrow at 12:30. And that will conclude our coverage. So for our special guest, Ed Semia, Carl Wiltz, Jeff Gelman, our engineer, Jimmy Fannin. I'm Dave Schmel. I wish you a very pleasant good evening. We'll catch you in a little bit.
Good night.
Good night.
Good curling.